He is a member of Advertising Association of Coimbatore. He is actively involved in consultancy works with many industries in Coimbatore as well as Tirupur. He is also serves as a member of affiliation committee and board of studies members with Anna University. He is an adjunct faculty at University of Toledo, USA. He has visited a number of leading universities abroad and engaged in collaborative research works with the universities. And we are very happy to have you today with us, sir. Thank you. The session is
Thank you.
yours.
Thank you, Dr. Sabri Rajan. Very good morning to all the participants. Nothing much to say about me. I'm also in the pool of knowledge, trying to understand a lot of things. As you know, we are in very difficult times, so it makes this session all the more difficult. Normally, it would have been nice we could have been in class, and the old-fashioned method of education is still the best method of education, which is the chalk and board technique. Nothing can replace that. To me, that is by far the best method of getting the knowledge across. Okay, so I will just this session is of two parts. We will be having the first session right now, which is from 10:30 to 11:30. Might extend. I'll try to be on time. The second part of the session will be at 2:30, if I'm correct. It's at 2:30, and there in that session we will deal about supply chain research. In the first session, we will discuss about the role of the distribution channels in the entire value chain process. And in the second half, we will deal with the research that can be done in the area of supply chain. I will share with you some of the research work that I have now been engaging myself in. And I hope that is of use to you. Many of you might be faculty members in various institutions and so on. It might help you in your research work. If you're a scholar, it might help you in your publication and in terms of your PhD. So my second half will be on research. Okay, so let's get down right to it. This session will be a broad, general perspective of the entire value chain and the distribution network. Okay, let me share my screen with you. Give me a minute. Can all of you see? You can talk with me, you can interact with me anytime you want. During the session, you can stop me. Let this be an interactive session, not a very bored, monotonous, one-way dialogue. So we can have this, as an interactive kind of a session. Okay, the role of distribution channels in the value chain. So the supply chain, as we call it, is what we call as the value chain, which means the product at every stage, the raw material right down to the end consumer, when it moves through the chain, keeps on getting value. Value is being added to the product as it moves on one by one, step by step into the each node. That's the right word to put it. Each node of the supply chain, as it moves from each node to the other node, the value of the product goes on increasing, right? And how much the distribution channel or the distribution network plays a part in this is the discussion for this session. Okay, right. Yeah, so why channels are so important? So that's a question that I want to pose to you today morning. If you take any firm, any industry, whether it is a product, it's a tangible product or intangible services, the most important thing in any firm's movement up the ladder would be the channel. Okay, if the channels don't function properly, then you end up at a very bad condition, seriously difficult time. See, you might have a good brand, you might have a very competitive price, you might have a you do all the promotion that is possible, marketing communication that is possible, but if you do not have a good network or channel network to support you in terms of your branding activities, in terms of your all your delivery systems, then you are headed for a doom, obviously. Therefore, channels play a very important role in this. And the most important point that I've put here, this is what came to my mind yesterday night when Dr. Sapari told me, let's talk on channels. So I put across some points that came up to me yesterday night. The first point I would want you to notice is this part here, which is called as designing the effective channels. You want a very good effective channels to manage your supply chain and distribution. If the channel should be effective enough, whether you're using somebody else's channel sometimes, or you can use your own channels. When I say channels, the intermediaries that right down from the manufacturer, the distributors, the wholesalers, the stock points, the retailers, and so on, exclusive dealers. You can have jobbers, agents, commission agents, franchisees, a whole set of firms act in taking your product right down to the end consumer. And sometimes a firm depends on its own channels or has its own established channels, or sometimes a firm has to depend on somebody else's channel. For example, let's take a car like Fiat, Fiat, Fiat cars, Fabrica Italiana Automobile Trades. That's the expansion of Italian car. Now, Fiat's distribution network in India is heavily dependent on Tata's distribution network. Fiat is totally dependent on the chain, the value chain of Tata, the distribution chain of Tata. So you might see Fiat cars also being sold by Tata distributors. So this is how it works. So this is all from a strategic standpoint, very, very important. Whether you have your own established channel network, or sometimes if you're a new brand and into a new market, then you might have to depend on an existing established network by somebody else. That can also happen. Okay, success of the marketing firm depends on how well the supply chain and logistics perform. Obviously, yes. So the firm heavily depends on logistics, the logistics and the supply chain network. And now you can have two strategies here. You can have a push strategy and a pull strategy. Now, pull strategy, as you all know, relies heavily on advertisements and promotion activities, sales promotion activities, discounts and offers and so on. So advertising plays a big part on the pull strategy, the emotional connect with the client or the customer. Even the distribution line look for promotional offers being given to them by the company, and they call this as trade promotion. Sales promotion and you have trade promotion. Trade promotion is where a manufacturer gives promotional offers to the trader or the middleman or the channel member for them to promote their product heavily. Sometimes the channel members might charge something called as a slotting fee, a fee that is a commission that is charged for keeping the products in the shelf of the particular retailer. And they can the company firm can give discounts on the invoice, off the invoice, and so on. So there are so many methods of trade promotion in which the FMCG products or products such as beverages like Coca-Cola or Pepsi, they do a lot of these trade promotion to their channel members. For example, if a particular channel member buys a crate contains 24 bottles, okay, and on a specific day the particular retailer tends to buy 2 more crates, then in that case the manufacturer or the distributor might give that particular retailer an extra crate free, or maybe 10 bottles free, which doesn't come in the invoice, or discounts can be offered to them for stocking up more number of products. So channels play a very important role, and pull strategy is one method. The other one is push strategy. You heavily push down the products. This kind of strategy happens with the medical field, which I will be discussing with you slightly in a slightly later time, where they employ a lot of push strategy. The medicine companies such as Ranbaxy or Cipla or Glaxo, uh, all these companies, they employ kind of aggressive push strategy to see that their channel members stock up heavily on their products. We will discuss about this later in a after a few minutes. Okay, channels not only serve markets but also make markets. That's the point I've put there in the slide there. Channels not only serve the markets, it's not only to serve the customers, to reach out to the customers, to give them the assortments in the quantity and in the specific variety that they require. It is also to penetrate the market, to grow the market. That's the word I would like to use. If a common strategy that we all would have studied is the Ansoff matrix, where you study the market penetration, market expansion, product diversification, and so on. Okay, if you want to make markets, then you need the firm depends heavily on the channel members. Okay, they are the ones who penetrate nook and corner of every town and city in any rural part of India or any suburban areas. Every part is being reached by the channel members. Okay, so it depends on the network that you have. Okay, channel member functions. Products made widely available to target markets. What are the main functions channel members perform? Why we should depend on this kind of the distribution network heavily? Why companies depend? So there are some reasons which I have put here. Products more widely available to target market. They're able to reach every nook and corner of every city and every town. Therefore, they're able to reach a wide market. Every remote location is being connected by these channel members. A retailer, you would have your retailer, you would have your dealer, somebody there. A few years back, I used to work for a company. Well, I work for a lot of companies. One of that is TTK. TTK, you must be knowing your prestige cookers. TT Krishnamachari. So it's a company that is well known for its product. Well, I served in the cartography department, that is the map division. They also make a lot of maps. Road guides, atlases, and very costly maps, which we sell to shipping companies. Each map will cost about from 4 lakh rupees to 5 lakh rupees. So it depends. Is vinyl maps, huge maps for a shipping company. Now, as a company representative, it was my job to take care of the entire southern region. So I had quite a lot of space to cover. So I had to take care of Tuticorin, Okay. Then Nagarkoil, Kanyakumari. Okay, that's the border with Kerala. Then this side we had Dindukal and right up to Karur, Madurai. This was my territory. So as a young sales executive, long back, I'm talking about very long back. Okay, I used to, before coming to academics, my job was to go around as a field salesperson to go around to check for the dealers. As a company person, I would go to the dealers in Madurai, stay there, uh, take up a room there in Madurai and maybe stay there and meet all the dealers there, appoint dealers to see the credit worthiness of the dealer, to check, to get orders, to collect payments, push the stock, take stock maintenance, and all these things. So it is our job. It was the field salesperson's job at that moment to go and check the stock and appoint dealers wherever possible, because the more dealers you appoint, you are tending to expand your market and reaching out to more areas. A place like Sivagangai, a district, very you don't find Karaikudi, or it could be Rameshwaram, very difficult places. In those days we used to work, we used to travel by ordinary city bus and travel to these locations where we meet dealers, appoint dealers, and try to push the stock. The competitor also plays a part. They also undercut us many times. The dealer sometimes will not support us. The retailer might not support us. All these problems we face when we meet the dealers. Sometimes there were times in Dindukal, I remember, where one of the dealers, every time I go and meet him, he will welcome me with open arms. He will make me sit, give me the order. The only thing he will give me is I will wait for him to give me the check. He gives me a check, but whenever we deposit the check bounces. So we had a lot of problems like this managing the dealers. So channel members is a very crucial, very critical for the survival of any organization. So the appointing the right channel member is also very important. That's my point. That's the reason I was just telling you about this. I worked few years with Mahindra also, Mahindra in the tractor division, where my role was to sell tractors. That time also we had a very hard time to reach out to the dealers, to to sell the models of tractors that we had. We had about 5 models of tractors. We had the B275DI model. We had the Sarpanch 575DI, Bhumiputra 475DI, and Arjun, very large tractor, 605DI. These were the tractor models that Mahindra had. Mahindra is number 1 in India, number 3 in the world. And we had to compete with other companies such as Ford, Massey Ferguson, MF, Swaraj Mazda, and so on. And we relied heavily on the channel member, the network. The supply chain gets its value as the product moves down the channel. That's my point today, which I'm trying to drill out. Okay, so market information, it's a serious source of, all these channels are a very, members are a serious source of market intelligence. That's the word I want to put it today. MIS, marketing information system, right? Today we have analytics. We depend on analytics, which we'll touch upon later. But serious source of the place from where you get market information is your channel member. Whatever might be the product. In my case, in tractors, I used to get information about which village, who is owning tractor, who is owning a particular model of tractor, who is owning, who has bought a new tractor, who is likely to buy a new tractor. All these market information I gather from the local mechanic shop, from the local dealer point. So every morning we visit the dealer point. Every morning we visit the mechanic shop, from where we get a rich source of market information. Now we gather this information, pass it on to the head office for them to analyze. What is our position? What is the current position of our company? What is our competitor doing? It's almost like playing a kind of a spy game, espionage. We have a lot of agencies, raw, CBI, and all these people do a lot of espionage work, spy work, something like that. All these kinds of information, ground intelligence is very important for the firm to survive and to stay in touch with the competition. And the richest source from where you get this ground information are your network, obviously. So promotion, finding customers, negotiating with the customers. So sometimes the company will not deal with the customers. We leave it to the channel member. We leave it to the the dealer to take care of the client. In case the dealer is not able to convince or negotiate a particular deal, or is finding it difficult to train his field sales force, in that case the company gets inside and tries to negotiate. So channel members are a source of financing. Of course, that's why you require channel. They're a rich source of financing. They take risks because they stock a lot of your commodity. Otherwise, you are going to keep a large number of your stock idle. It'll remain idle in your inventory, which is an additional cost for you. Therefore, you have to depend on the channel to take care of your stock. So this is where the push strategy comes. You see that the stock is heavily piled up with the dealer and the distributor network. That is the job of the executives, actually, from the company side. Okay. Do you need channels for services? Definitely. Definitely. Today, as I put some examples for you. Hospitals, education institutions, gyms, wellness centers, they all have channels. You can call them franchise network or whatever. All services today have channels. Even top education institutions like Harvard and Stanford are having their own network. They're having their so-called Ivy Leagues, which were once, very prominent. It was the, the go-to place for any aspirant in India, any student. Today, you are getting the same education at your doorsteps. And the channel they use they use a physical channel. They also use a virtual channel. Now you can take education is come to you. You can learn from any you can learn any course from any international university through online platforms such as Coursera. Correct? You have platforms, online platforms like Coursera and Udemy and all these people, where they bring you the courses offered by leading universities around the world. Whether you want to study in Harvard, or you want to study in Yale, or you want to study it in Massachusetts University, it's all the courses are available to you. And also Indian universities, and also Indian top ranked centers of excellence like your IITs and IIMs are going to this kind of a new kind of a format, a new kind of a business model, if I would like to put it like the virtual channel, virtual platforms to get the education outside. And especially after the COVID times, you would have noticed a lot of online education just spiraling up, like Byju's and all these people coming up. Gyms, yes, wellness centers, they're also having their own networks. I have with me a product. This is called Alga Brew. Okay, it's a capsule. Can you see? I don't know if you can see, all of you. It's a capsule. Okay, this is made from spirulina. It's an algae. It's an algae. Okay, this is the pamphlet. Okay, this is a product that was designed by one of my students. This is the it comes in capsules, and it's a product which is developed from algae. Algae you find in the um, in the seashore. You find algae. We call fungus and algae and all these things. You find it on the seashore, on the rocks and things like that. They take that, dry it out. They are rich source of protein. There is a rich source of protein and vitamins. So this product was is developed by my student, and I asked that particular student, from where are you getting the supply? Do you manufacture this? From where are you getting the supply? What she told me was, no sir, there is a company, there are a lot of suppliers for algae. I didn't know this. There are a lot of suppliers who supply algae in terms of powders. They take algae, they collect algae. There are a lot of because our main focus in the broad area is supply chain. We're not going to waver from that, the main topic. Okay. And my the student told me, we go to a collection center. Those people supply us with algae powder. So what we do is we take those algae powder and we manufacture capsules using starch, and we fill it up, and we package it, and we brand it, and we sell it. Now she came to me, she approached me and said, sir, how should I promote this product? Give me a method for me to promote this product. Where should I go and sell this product? So the idea I gave her was, why don't you contact gyms? So gyms and wellness centers, that's what I put here. Gyms and wellness centers are the place where people look for supplements. Supplements. Instead of taking protein diet in the morning, they go for supplements. What kind of supplements to eat? Maybe some kind of vitamin tablets and supplements. So gyms and wellness centers today look for supplements, and that would be your best source of promoting the product. So the network that you need to employ here is use gyms and gym trainers as your distribution network. Normally today, if you notice very carefully, protein powders, various kinds of protein powders are being sold in gyms. Gyms like Pink Gym, there are so many wellness centers, VLCC, and all these wellness centers have now suddenly there is a consciousness today, if I should put it, among the general public, to be fit and slim and healthy, to eat only very healthy food and things like that. So they're looking for all these kinds of supplements. And I told her, why don't you contact the gym trainers? They themselves will market it for you. You don't have to go search for any pharmacy store, or you don't have to search for any supermarket to stock your product and sell it. Why don't you use this line, this channel? So she went, I don't know what happened after that. She said she got in touch with a few gyms and wellness centers and somehow managed to convince the gym trainers to stock her product and to promote her product to the people who are coming there as a supplement product. So I just want you to understand that channels are also necessary, not only for tangible products, but also for services. Okay. Okay. Apart from channels, the most important thing in your value chain would be your logistics. So logistics help you to gain advantage, competitive advantage. Logistics, take the product to the doorsteps. When I say logistics, we have, container companies. If you go to Tuticorin, entire town of Tuticorin, you will see only logistics companies. Wherever you go, you will see lots and lots and lots of logistics companies and freight and carry forward agencies. So they play a vital role in the development of the particular company and the firm. Especially when when the firm is in transacting with a global player, with a global client, then you need to depend on heavily on logistics, freight forwarding agencies and carry forward agencies, container companies, trucks. If you are going to do it, sometimes these companies also use inland waterways or ports, terminal and ports, frigates, all these ships that you have, barges and ships. If you take a country like Alaska, then if anything, from Canada to Alaska, products going from Canada to Alaska, from United States to Alaska, Alaska, which is part of the United States, there in all these snowy regions, you must have seen in many National Geography Channel and other Discovery channels, huge trucks taking them through the snow. And sometimes they use, there are a lot of waterways, and they have to use these barges and tugs to pull and to get it across there. Take a place like Siberia, northern Russia to Siberia. There are a lot of towns there, and it's all below minus freezing temperature. And logistics here plays the most vital role to reach out to those kinds of towns and small villages which are located in these sub Arctic regions and so on. So here, and of course logistics, when you're talking about logistics, it's cost saving. Whether you own your own logistics fleet or you depend on a third party logistics, is a decision that you as a company need to make. And of course, logistics makes product variety to reach, right? Logistics plays a very important when you look for product variety. When you take a company like, let us say, Hindustan Unilever, which is having about, if I'm correct, 460 different varieties of products. Okay, and definitely you look for variety. In case of such a large umbrella brand like Hindustan Unilever, and which has a lot of sub brands under it, it's a lot of integrated brands into it, and a lot of other brands into it. You definitely will have to rely on a very good logistics system and transportation system. Okay, so logistics, as we are talking about here, is having these four functions, which is warehousing, inventory management. I was told by Dr. Sabari that there was another speaker who talked about RFID, radio frequency identification, which they use for tagging and everything in the inventory management. Okay, warehousing. Here, a concept that that is heavily talked about is called as theory of constraints. Theory of constraints. It's called a theory of constraints. That when you're talking about logistics and inventory management, there are a lot of constraints, and many problems arise out of a single problem. If you, a firm, identifies what that crucial problem is, then all the other problems automatically get solved out. This is according to Goldratt paper, where he talks about the theory of constraints. And theory constraints plays a part in warehousing management and inventory management, where you process orders, you ship orders, you look for stock maintenance, you use technology to maintain, to tag, to control the movement of batches. Think about a company like Amazon. How much of stock is coming inside from various suppliers, and how much is going out to the clients, and they have to tag and number code and barcode every single item right to the minute detail. Today Amazon is also having its own drone system of delivery. Now they are thinking of a different kind of network, supply network. They're thinking of different kind of supply network, distribution network, where they use in the United States, they use drone technology, where the packages are delivered right up to your doorsteps. So there is no, they're negating on the retailers and stock maintenance and things like that directly from the collection centers down to the end consumer through drones. Okay, maybe that is the future. Okay, so logistics and distribution networks and inventory management, transportation, they're rich source of information. Okay, information. You're, as a company in today's times, if you really want to survive, then you rely heavily on information is gold. That is why we have concepts such as marketing analytics today picking up in our field of management. Today everybody is talking about financial analytics, HR analytics, marketing analytics. What is analytics? Analytics is data science. You capture data, you have artificial intelligence, and you have human manual methods to capture data. Then there is large data coming out from every point, maybe a billing counter, maybe at a billing counter in a grocery store, you have data coming there. You have volumes and volumes of data coming there. This data has to be made sense of. So you mine this data, you process this data, and you use it for the benefit of the organization. You can do descriptive analytics, you can do prescriptive analytics, and you can do predictive analytics. These are the three things you can do with your analytics data. I'm going to show you a little bit time from now how this analytics is used in supply chain. I'm going to introduce you to a company that is very close to my heart. Just have a look at it, how analytics is used in this company. So when you talk about warehousing, inventory management, transportation, I will also at this juncture bring you to something called as ICDs. So anybody knows what is ICD? Let me stop share here and let me open a map of India. Hold on, give me a minute. So what is an ICD? I hope you can see the screen now. So I have a map of India with me. So ICDs, very important for supply chain. Okay, let me go down to south here. Normally, you would have ports on the sea coast. If you take Chennai, Trivandrum, Cochin, so where goods are transported to foreign locations, ships come there, dockyards, and so on. Okay, ICDs are known as inland container depots. These inland container depots are located inside. I mean, for example, Bangalore. Now look, Bangalore is nowhere near the coast. So Bangalore has one ICD like this. Coimbatore has one ICD. ICDs are inland container depots. They act as ports, just like real ports on the sea coast. There are ICDs in every landlocked place, which makes it easy for the logistics to storage, for the container companies to transact and so on. I don't know, a few years back I had also visited the ICD at Bangalore. Why, very vast. You have big dumper trucks carrying all these what do you call as containers, 12-foot containers, 16-foot containers, and like this they carry and place them on top. It just acts as real ports. So those are another point I want you to consider when you're talking about inventory management. ICDs, even small places like Coimbatore, They also have their own ICD depots, they call inland container depots. Okay, just to give me a minute, share the video again. Okay. So integrated logistics is the talk of the town now. Logistics is being connected. As I told you, logistics transportation is connected with other logistics and transportation companies. It is connected with ICDs. It's connected with ports. It's connected with the companies. It's connected with global players, global logistics companies, third-party logistics. You depend on sometimes third-party logistics to focus. All this, these are all a very, very integrated network of systems, and they use technology today to integrate. So what is there? In a supply chain? There are only three things that can happen in a supply chain. One is the flow of information, the flow of materials, and the flow of money. Okay, flow of materials, flow of information, flow of money. If you don't have an integrated logistics system, then you're bound to have disruptions in this flow. You're bound to have distortions and disruptions in the flow of information, in the flow of money, and in the flow of materials. That's why you require this integrated system, right? So we will discuss about this flow in the second half in the afternoon when we are doing supply chain research, right? Okay. Major participants in the distribution channel are your wholesalers, brokers, agents, manufacturing sales branches, offices. There are a few people called as merchant wholesalers. There are very large wholesalers. They are very large wholesalers who take title to the goods, who take care of, you solve the problem of investment, who take care of assortments, who take care of grading, everything. So these are very large wholesalers. So these are your main participants in your entire distribution networks. These sometimes these merchant wholesalers are also the reason for the power struggle. There is bound to happen power struggle between the manufacturer and the wholesalers. Who controls the supply chain? Who controls the distribution network? There is very often you will find conflicts and power struggles and power dynamics happening in the supply chain or in the value chain. Very common. See, when I was working with the TTK, we had few dealers in Madurai who controlled the entire market. There were two people, I still remember, two guys who were dealers, who were brothers, who were in Madurai. They control the entire Madurai market for books. They are some kind of a merchant wholesaler. If you look at their shops, very small, but they have huge godowns. Very small guys, two guys sitting, with old shabby clothes, and they'll be sitting outside very calm, and they will not have any buzz around them. Very, very casual sitting, but they control the entire market. Okay, all the colleges, all the schools in Madurai region, about 200 schools, 150 colleges are dependent on this guy. They control. All the manufacturers have to be at these two people, at the mercy of these two people. If they say it will sell, it will sell. Okay. Otherwise, it's very difficult to sell. You cannot have your own distribution network because you cannot match them in terms of their variety, in terms of their pricing, their rate cutting, and so on. It's very difficult to match them. So sometimes the power dynamics shifts from the company's perspective, from the company's side to the wholesaler side, the channel member side, sometimes power dynamics, right? So brokers, agents, these are the same condition. Whereas real estate and things like that, you have power dynamics happening. Okay. So challenges. So these are some of the challenges I want you to understand about trade marketing. So we have powerful, dealers. Then you have manufacturing challenges in terms of profitability, size, innovation, differentiation. You tend to, you have to give more and more variety as more and more brands come into the market, and you're dealing with the brands from countries like China. Especially take the mobile market, we have a flood of brands coming in from China. Then obviously our Indian brands have to compete with them. So these are some of the challenges in terms of profitability. uh, Here is where the manufacturer looks for the cheapest supplier. Of course, when you take a product like garments, we are very good at it. Our garment manufacturing units are very good. They're very competitive. They're able to match. They're able to match Chinese products now. But especially in the last 8 months, I have noticed, especially government clusters closing down. They're unable to match because of the very poor supply chain that is existing in the country. They're able to not able to withstand the present volatile situation, and they are closing down places like Tirupur garment clusters. I think nearly 1,000 fabric manufacturers who are manufacturing brands for big brands like Adidas and Nike from Tirupur are closing down. uh, so it's very difficult. And these clusters depend heavily on the supply chain. The supply chain sometimes are strangled to the extent where they have to close down. Each node closes down. So this makes it difficult for small players, small auto component parts. When you take Coimbatore, a city like Coimbatore, we have about 1,500 auto component manufacturers. So these people found it so difficult during these last 7 months, especially during this pandemic, where they had to close down. No labor issues there. Okay, power cuts, the taxation policies of the governments, and we have the issue of the strangulation of the supply chain, which cannot function anymore. So many of these auto component parts, big companies, even like Precall, they manufacture meters for cars, automobiles, Precall meters. The plant is here in Coimbatore. There are about 7 plants here. All of them had to, struggle. They had to close 1 or 2 plants. Big companies like Roots, which make horns for your automobiles, Bosch, all of them have to close down and shift to some other place because of the strangulation of the supply chain. Okay, so there are challenges for the retailers also, and there are challenges for the manufacturers also. Manufacturers, merchant wholesalers, retailers, challenges everywhere today. And this is the problem that the companies are facing today with the present scenario. Okay, so change in the consumer landscape. Of course, the consumer landscape last 8 months has changed drastically. So geopolitical situation, what is happening with the China and the United States. Company like Huawei, there is a war going on between Chinese company Huawei and United States, and especially in terms of telecommunication products. And Chinese products are taxed heavily in the United States, and China is taxing US products, and so on. There's a kind of a war going on. The entire global landscape is divided, and the consumer base is shifting. The consumer needs are shifting, demands are shifting, the old markets are shifting. The way people look at the old markets, the India was looked as a textile cluster and hub. But today, because of the labor issues, the taxation, electricity, and the supply chain problems, the textile clusters have shifted to countries like Bangladesh, Vietnam. You never think about it. Vietnam has grown 300% in the last 5 years. Okay, in the last 5 years, Vietnam, all companies are going to Vietnam now. All foreign players are now shifting to Vietnam. Bangladesh and Vietnam and Sri Lanka are now becoming new clusters. The eyes of the world are now shifting from India to these three countries here. In terms of, I met many government suppliers. I met many government distributors from the United States. This is what we told me. They told me, we are fed up with coming to India. We are facing so many formalities and taxation problems. We rather go to Vietnam and Cambodia, okay, and which for us to get the products. And they are growing, their manufacturing units are growing there, and their ease of doing business, that's the word which they used. Ease of doing business is better off in countries like Vietnam and Bangladesh. Therefore we want to go there. So this makes it very difficult. Okay, so changing consumer landscape, the pattern, personal consumption, the industry shift has all seen a change. Have a look at this. I have some pictures for you. Aging population, women in workplace. Women are a major spender in the online platform. Okay, today women spend more. The female gender is very active in purchase in the online platforms, Amazon, Flipkarts, and all the Snapdeals and so on. So they are a major buying power. The purchasing power of women individual, even in third world countries like India, Vietnam, it's increasing. And the purchasing power of women, individual women, they're becoming very successful, and therefore women are major contributors. Emerging markets, this is what I was talking to you about. Global growth of new emerging markets like Vietnam and Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, which we were not seeing. Even Malaysia is losing its slowly. It was almost the assembling hub in the entire distribution network. It was kind of an assembling hub. I don't know how many of you know this. Dell computers, if you give an order for Dell computers, let's say 100 computers, the Dell computers are assembled, the parts are will be gathered as the ship. Let's say a ship is starting from Shanghai in China, and when it comes to Malaysia, it will gather some input parts. By the time it comes to Singapore, it gathers more input parts. And by the time it travels all the way via Sri Lanka and reaches India, on the ship itself, it will be assembled. So they don't have, so this stops them from, having their own, huge inventory and storage and warehouse. The manufacturing, the assembling takes place on board the ship itself. So this is one of the strategies that some of the players like Dell are following. So that's because of the global, shift in the markets, growth in the emerging markets, urbanization, pattern of consumption, sharing economy, right? Technological advancements. These are some of the points, that came to my mind yesterday, which I wanted to share with you. Okay, this is a company I want you to introduce you to. A student of mine who is now the director of this company. This is an agricultural logistics company. I don't know how many of you know this. This is called as Ninja Cart. See here, Ninja Cart. So what they do is they procure from the farmers. They have their own collection centers. They have their own collection centers. They use analytics, data analytics, complex data analytics. They have their own call centers and teams which works on data analytics, and they're able to forecast their procurement. They're able to forecast the demand. They are able to fix prices based on global prices and the local prices. They arrive at an average price, and they use technology, mobile phones to intimate the farmers on the field that the price of the product is this. We require so much quantity of this particular commodity. They send trucks, logistics, to go and to the collection centers, right down to the individual farms. They support the farmers. They bring them to the collection centers, grade them, okay, and give them the indent. By the evening, the amount is transferred to the account of the farmer. All these things happens. This is a beautiful company. It's a wonderful case for you to study in terms of supply chain. Okay, so we have this is the company I wanted you to understand. Let me show you how their supply chain looks like. So this is how it looks like, if you can notice this. So from the farmer, I hope you can see the screen, all of you. Can one of you respond? So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's clear.
yeah. Okay,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you. Okay, thank you. From the farmer, the product is taken to the collection centers. This is a beautiful business model which was put down by my student. His name is Jerome. And now he's doing this business. It's a multi-million-dollar business. They have about, he told me about 600 collection centers only in Chennai. Okay, they control the entire market. And from the farmer, they take it to the collection center. You see, from the collection center, it goes to the fulfillment center. This is where they do the grading and assortments. From there, they have their own distribution centers, and from there they go to the individual retail. They supply to the retailers, the small, retailers, vegetable retailers. They go and supply them. They also have their own stores. They also have their own stores, Ninja Cart's own stores, for them to do the distribution. Okay, I will show you video also. Let me see. So this is how it works. So they use supply chain and technology. Ninja Cart is the India's largest fresh product supply chain company that is solving one of the toughest problem in the world through technology. Okay, so they are equipped to move 1,400 tons of perishables from farm to business every day. So that much they have grown, I think in a span of 4 to 5 years, if I'm correct, because he was doing a different business earlier. Now he is doing this business. He meets me quite often, asks me for some marketing ideas and so on. And we have quite a long chat, whenever he comes. And it's a wonderful business. I want you to see this. Earlier, he was doing a garment business. Earlier, he was doing garment business in Tirupur, where they were manufacturing innerwear, sports innerwear. Okay, sports innerwear for brands such as Puma, Nike, Adidas. Okay, from Tirupur. Now, he will manufacture the product, but he will not place the logos. Logos are placed in the United States. Now, he told me while I was discussing this with him, Jerome, the business that you do, from where do you source your material, fabric and everything? He said, sir, we have one knitting center in Tirupur. We have another knitting center in Vietnam. We have stitching units, knitting units. We have embroidering units, in various countries in the world. So what we do is, suppose he said, I want to sell the product in a country like Switzerland. If I take, let's take an innerwear, an underwear, let's say, like I'm taking an underwear. I'm going to market a product like underwear in a country like Switzerland. Okay. So what he told me was, I will not finish the product. What I will do is, in Tirupur, I will only make half the product. That is, the bottom half of the underwear I will do. The elastic strip, I will not attach it to the underwear. What I will do is, I will take it to Switzerland. Once the product enters into Switzerland, there I have my unit there, where they will attach this elastic band with the lower half of the underwear. Then I asked him, why you can't do it here in Tirupur? Why can't you finish the product here in Tirupur? Or you can finish the product in Bangladesh and export it to Tirupur, export it to Switzerland. No, if I do like that, he said, sir, if I do like that, the tax is a different bracket. An unfinished, a semi-finished product, when it enters into country, is of a different tax bracket. And if I go finish it there, it's a different tax. For, you know, taking that tax advantage, I am taking the product, exporting the product in two pieces. The elastic band in one piece, and the lower half of the underwear in two piece. See the genius methods in which these people use, to overcome the hurdles of taxation, tax barriers, and things like that, when they do, international marketing, and internationals, when they're, going and dealing with the international suppliers, international supply chain and logistics. They have all these methods. And that is the same fellow who started this company, Ninja Cart, and is quite successful now. Let me show you this. So this is what they do. This is the problem. I hope you can see the screen. Farmers experience price risk every day. Okay, me too. I'm also a farmer. Okay, and I used to do. We have about 30 acres of farmland in a place called Kutralam in down south in Tamil Nadu. And we grow coconuts. We grow coconuts, we grow chiku, we grow mangoes, and so on. Okay, and every time I grow mangoes, I have to take it. I have to take it to the local mandi, that is a market. By if morning, if I pluck the mangoes, uh, by 10 o'clock in the morning, it has to be loaded onto a truck and taken to the mandi. In the mandi, they will auction my mangoes. They will say, my name is Joshua, Joshua's mango, and they will auction it out with other mangoes. Okay, and the auction, all the other retailers and small dealers will come and bid for my mangoes. This is called as commodity market. You will find such commodity market in places like Erode, where you have turmeric market, manjal turmeric market. You will find it in Erode, coconut market, and all these things. Same thing with the coconut. We have commission agents in these mandis who will do auction. I'll be waiting there from 10 o'clock till the auction goes. There will be retailers who will come and take my product and buy my product. So I will get my payment only when the retailer buys from the commission agent. So I'll get my payment only in the evening. Morning 10 o'clock, I delivered my product. Auction goes on till 12 o'clock. Okay, then the commission agent will calculate all the accounts and everything. He will finish it by evening. By 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the evening, only me as a farmer will get the payment. So this is what happens in the system, right? And same is the case with the coconuts. I think you are getting coconuts in the retail outlets. You are getting coconuts in the retail outlets for how many rupees? Maybe 30 rupees, 25 rupees to 35 rupees. That's the range. But the commission agent who buys from a farmer like me buys it for 350 rupees to 6 rupees. This is the rate. Okay, from me he buys it from my coconut farm. Every 40 days coconut has to be cut. So every 40 days they cut coconut. They buy about 10,000 coconuts, 15,000 coconuts from me. Okay, at a rate of 3.5, depends upon the size of the coconut. They grade the coconut. 3.5 rupees to 6 rupees they buy from me, and then the commission agent will go and deliver. He will have a go down where he will go and keep deposit all my coconuts. 15,000 coconuts he has taken from me. Like me, he will go and collect from another 10 farmers. So that makes it about 1 lakh coconuts. Once he reaches 1 lakh coconuts, 1.5 lakh coconuts in his go down, he will transport it to a bigger commission agent. That bigger commission agent will transport it to an even more bigger commission agent who is sitting somewhere in Gujarat. So I want you to understand the value chain, what happens. So by the time the coconut reaches your hand in the retail shop, the cost is 35 rupees. So supply chain eats up everything. So these people here Ninja Cart here, they solve the problem of farmers experiencing price risk. Now look at that. Look at me. Look at my condition. 3 rupees 50 paise, 6 rupees I am paying for my one coconut. One coconut is buying from me. You know the people who climb the trees for plucking the coconuts? 6 people will come. If I'm having about 1,000 trees, 6 people will come to cut the coconuts. Each person, his daily labor cost wages is 650 rupees plus 20 coconuts. That's his labor cost. You think about it. So 6 people at a rate of 650 rupees. So 3,000 rupees, 3,500 rupees, you've already lost there in labor. Coconuts will fall down. You need women to collect them into a basket. Okay. You need about 20 women to collect 15,000 coconuts and load it onto the truck. Each woman, you have to pay 300 rupees labor cost, wages per day. 20 women. So you're spending almost from 8,000 to 9,000 rupees on every cut. So not much for the farmer. Farmer, if you look at it, is very meager amount. Okay. The entire distribution network eats up, the commission agents eats up the entire profitability of the farmer. That is why companies like Ninja Cart has come inside. So they provide solutions here. There are some solutions they have given. We eliminate intermediaries. We build reliable, cost-effective, high-speed logistics. Okay, all this they are doing. I have a video to play for you. You have just hold on. Let me share a video of Ninja Cart with you. Tell me if you can see it. So that okay. Can you see the image?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear the audio?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ರಮೇಶ್ ಅಂತ.
Good.
ನಾವು ವ್ಯವಸಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ. ನಮ್ಮಪ್ಪ ನಮ್ಮ ತಾತ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ವ್ಯವಸಾಯನೇ.
This is a beautiful case of Ninja Cart.
ಈ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಿ 10,000 ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದು ಒಂದು 5,000. ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂಜಾ ಕಾರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೇನು 9,000 ಬಂದರೆ 9,000 ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಕುಟುಂಬದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂಥರ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಆದರೆ ನಿಂಜಾ ಕಾರ್ಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ನಿನಿಂದ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಇದು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ, ನಮ್ಗೂ ಖುಷಿ, ಒಂದು ನೆಮ್ಮದಿ ಇದೆ. ಇದರಿಂದ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಇದಿದೆ.
Ninja Cart is building the world's fastest reliable supply chain for vegetables and fruits. From the time of harvest, our produce reaches the stores in less than 12 hours in a least cost possible. We are able to achieve this with the help of technology and data, which enables our people and processes.
Ninja Cart supply chain process starts with weekly forecasting, where the sales team publishes the customer growth plan for the week. Analytics combines growth plan with historic demand data and market conditions to prepare the weekly sales and procurement forecast at SKU level.
Forecasting is a very crucial step for us, as it helps us in our purchase planning to reduce wastage, and it also helps us in planning our supply chain much more efficiently. Now, once the forecast is done, the procurement team goes on to give weekly intent to the farmers based on the existing farmer harvest calendar. 2 days before the actual delivery date, based on the existing market conditions such as availability and price fluctuations, the procurement forecast gets revised once again. Once it's revised, the procurement team again goes on to redistribute the intent to the farmers or reconfirm it once again.
The next step is setting prices. Product prices are collected from various markets a day before the delivery date. This price information is then used to set the purchase and selling price simultaneously to avoid price risk. Based on the intent, the farmer harvests the produce, grades as per Ninja Cart quality standards, and brings it to the nearby collection centers. Once the produce arrives at the collection center, items are checked for quality, weighed and transferred to Ninja Cart crates in front of the farmer to ensure transparency. The farmer gets a receipt immediately and the money is transferred to his bank account in 24 hours. Items are batched and loaded in the truck enabled with real-time tracking. Items from multiple collection centers arrive at fulfillment centers and are moved into inventory. Items are batched distribution center wise as per the customer demand and using Ninja Cart's in-house queuing technology. This ensures huge volumes are processed without any error.
Every process and action within a supply chain is orchestrated by the product with preset conditions. This minimizes the need for communication and dependency among team members. This helps us move items from receiving to dispatch in less than 15 minutes.
Trucks leave from various collection centers and fulfillment centers and then arrive at distribution centers. Items are picked and packed as per customer orders. Mini trucks arrive at distribution centers early morning and items are loaded route-wise into the vehicle. Mobile phones are issued to drivers to manage the deliveries. The drivers drop the items at the shop and proceeds to deliver at all shops in the route. On the way back, he collects empty crates and cash from the customers and deposits the same in the distribution center.
1.5 year ಇಂದ ನಿಂಜಾ ಕಾರ್ಟಲ್ಲೇ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಟೈಮ್ ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಡೆಲಿವರಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ. ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿನೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದು ತಪ್ಪುತ್ತೆ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಬೇಗ ಎದ್ದು. ಪ್ರೈಸಸ್ಸು ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ಗಿಂತ ಕಮ್ಮಿನೇ ಇದೆ. ಶಾರ್ಟೇಜ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ನೈಟೇ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ನಿಂಜಾ ಕಾರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಆ್ಯಪ್ ಬಂದಾಗಿಂದ ತುಂಬ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಇಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ನಿಂಜಾ ಕಾರ್ಟ್.
The robust supply chain ensures that customers receive quality items at better prices on time every day.
Okay, so this is a small case. So you can do a lot of projects as far as Ninja Cart business model is concerned in supply chain. Okay, just a minute. I just want to share with you one small activity. Because we are discussing about, I'll just take another 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, I have exceeded my time by 10 minutes. Very sorry. I'll take another 5 to 10 minutes and we will wind up this session. But before that, I want to do some small activity and I want your perspective on this. Okay, can you see the activity? All of you? Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will read it for you. Right. So this, I was talking about power dynamics. Of merchant wholesalers, the conflicts that arises. I want you to now to give me an answer. What you would do as a firm in this situation? Okay. So there's a drugstore and a supermarket. Two places you can sell pharmaceutical drugs. Now, OTG, over-the-counter drugs, you can sell it in the supermarket, like Vicks and all these things. But prescription drugs, you can only sell it in the pharmacy, right? So that's the logic. So a drugstore, a pharmaceutical drug medicine company make a broad range of products. Some must be sold via drugstores, that's pharmacies, whereas some can be sold in the supermarket, right? These are headache tablets like aspirin and so on. Okay. Supermarkets offer significant sales potential. Yes, definitely. This channel conflict challenge resolves around the distribution of a range of popular vitamin tablets. Okay, B complex or whatever, a lot of vitamin tablets have come. Supra Plus, I think you have seen advertisements on televisions also. They are now sold in the supermarket itself, in the pharmacy also, in the supermarket also. Traditionally, they have been sold only in drugstores. However, as the overall market has become more health conscious, the major supermarket chains have approached the pharmaceutical firms as they now want to also sell the product. So a product like Supra Plus, vitamin pill, you can find it in the supermarket. Now the challenge is this: the drugstores channel is not all that happy with this news. A product that was sold only in pharmacy is now being sold in supermarket. Obviously, the supermarket sales are in a position to undercut them on price because they sell more, so they are able to undercut them in terms of price, which would mean that they would lose this profitable product line as well as a number of their customers who only visit a drugstore to buy this product. Therefore, the drugstore channel has indicated to the firm that they want to keep their exclusive arrangement in place. Okay, otherwise they will be less willing to distribute the firm's range of products. They're saying that, look, if you guys give the selling of these drugs to supermarkets, then we will cut the agreement with you, with the pharmaceutical company. We will no more sell your product. See, so how will you resolve this situation? This is the question I want to pose to you. If you were the firm and you have a channel member fight, okay, a channel member fight. Now it is profitable for you to sell through a supermarket than a pharmaceutical store, but at the same time you can't lose the relationship that you also have with the pharmacy store, because they are your major channel for selling other products in your portfolio, in your range of categories. What would you do? Anybody, you can be free.
We can
What would
give
you do?
extra discounts for the pharmacy stores.
What happened?
Extra discounts for the pharmacy stores we can offer.
Extra discounts for the pharmacy stores. By the way, all of you, do you know that pharmacy stores charge about 600% profit? Do you know that?
Yes, sir.
Right, almost 600. And you go and ask slowly if you have any friend or anybody who is owning a drugstore. They will say, tell it to you, 600% profit.
Yes, sir. They are having their category of ABCD for selling the drugs in medical. For example, pharmacy. For different category, they are having different percentages. Sir, can I have a doubt? If they can go for a different brand name for when they are selling these vitamin tablets in pharmaceutical with a different name, but the same tablets, instead of Sucra Plus, they can go for Plus Sucra or whatever be the other name. So
Okay.
They can sell it in supermarkets with a different name. The same purpose they are going to do it.
Same tablet, you are saying that slight modification in the brand name.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So customers, they can understand it. Both are same. Both both the medicines are going to do the same purpose. So only the names are going to be there. So now there is no problem for supermarkets.
So it's a kind of a psychological, sale you want to make.
Yes, sir.
In the mind of the consumer.
Happy. Yes.
I don't know if you anybody having stomach problem, constipation, they have a product now in the market called as LactiHep. Have you heard of this? LactiHep. You take one sip and your constipation problem is over. Now they have brought this even to the supermarkets. LactiHep Plus. They're using one word, extra one word. LactiHep Plus, LactiHep, like this. So this plus, minus, all these words in the small slight changes in the brand name could be a solution. Okay, good. Any other solution you have to solve this war between the network people? I mean the supply chain nodes war, the power dynamics, the power war between them. Who controls the market?
So in between them, we can introduce online seller also. They may fight against this.
Online sellers. Okay, good. I have a friend who is a regional manager in Cipla. They use a very peculiar route of distribution. I mean, all drugstores, they use what we call as missionary selling. Missionary selling means you go to a doctor, the sales representative or the medical representative goes to a doctor and convinces the doctor to promote the drugs. They don't promote the drugs. The doctor promotes the drugs on behalf of the company. So doctor acts as one of the members of the distribution line. I was talking to me, he told me some very interesting facts, which I want to share with you now. He said, sir, he even showed, just a minute, let me stop share this. He gave me some data also, which I want to put to you. Yeah, you can see this data. So this is the data he shared with me of various drugs. You can see on the lower half of the screen, various drugs. And these are the places: Salem, Cochin, Tirunelveli, Madurai. Okay. So this is one drug here, Veripad, Rotovac, Gardasil. These are all drugs, PNX 23. These are all drugs which they have sold in various places. And I asked him, what are the channel that you use for distributing? He said, no, it was very simple, sir. We go to the doctor in these places. We identify the top doctors, specialists who are in connection to our drugs. This is all gynecological drugs and vaccinations. We approach them. Antibiotics, we approach them. What we do is we tell the doctor, sir, look, we want you to promote our product. We will give you an offer to go to United States to present in the conference. Got it? I am the sales representative. I go to the doctor and tell him, see, we'll give you an offer. We will take you free to the United States to present in the conference. In the conference, we want you to present the research paper which we wrote regarding the drug. So the doctor is given a free trip to the conference in United States and asked to present a research paper which the company itself wrote on its own drug. So the doctor goes to the United States, a free trip he gets with his family. He gets to stay wonderful life in the United States, and he presents in the conference as if he has written the research paper on behalf of the company. This is the unethical practice that they use for promoting the product. And once it is presented in the conference, it obviously will be printed in the journal, medical journal. Once it is printed in the medical journal, it is approved. Drug is approved. Okay. So this is the many techniques that these pharmaceutical companies have, and they use it. They use this kind of distribution network, which is the doctor who who promotes the drugs on behalf of them. They don't directly promote. The another method they use is the pharmacist who acts as a middleman. Okay. Now, if you go to a multi-specialty hospital, I'll just take another 3 minutes. If you go to the multi-specialty hospital and the doctor writes a prescription, you say you go with a headache and a fever, and he writes a prescription, and you take the prescription below to that pharmacy there in that multi-specialty hospital, and you give him that prescription. The pharmacist will look at this and he say, this drug is not available. That same hospital, the pharmacist, tell your doctor to make changes. Only this brand of drug is handled. This company, same content only, but different brand. It's not Dr. Reddy's, but Cipla or Glaxo or Ranbaxy is only available. So you go back to the doctor. So the doctor is forced to rewrite a new prescription, new drug from a different company. So here the controlling person is the pharmacist. These pharmaceutical companies take care, I'm using the word very consciously, take care of the pharmacist for the distribution of the drugs. Whatever the pharmacist tells is the availability of the drug. He will say, no, this drug is not available. Doctor can prescribe anything, but it is not available in the pharmacy because pharmacist controls what drug has to come inside. Are you getting it? Okay, the pharmacist has to control what drug has to be prescribed. So the control is now. That's what I mean by power dynamics. Okay, we can keep talking like this again. Okay, there are so many things we have dealt. We have dealt with so many products and agriculture and pharmacy and textiles. So I want you to understand a supply chain, the value chain, the three most important things that flows through the value chain. That is your information, your material, and your money. the three important flows that drives your supply chain. Okay, so in the second half, we will go into research. We will look into the area of reverse supply chain. We will look into the area of secondary supply chain. I will share with you some of the articles which I have written and which are going to be published. The ones that have been published and ones that are going to be published, and the method that I used to do the research, which will be, I think, will be helpful for you in terms of your research and publication. Okay, thank you. Over to Sabri.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. It's not have feeling have you crossed the 2 hours, almost 2 hours. It's